guys and gals, my name is Mac, and today I'm going to be continuing talking about Rockstar, GT Online, and Red Dead Online. Before I get into it, I wanted to just say I did split, I did originally make a full video and then split it into two parts because it was a little long. But the second part, the audio got messed up and there was no audio, so I'm just refilming that part, so it might not flow as good with part one. Um, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about, kind of what we know about the GTA Summer Update, and kind of talking about what I think might be going on, and then we'll also want to discuss what they could possibly add to Red Dead Online in the future, just because we don't have anything on that. It's just kind of whatever at this point. But talking about GT Online, uh, in terms of this update, I believe in spring we got word that, or maybe it was late winter, that we got word there was an update revolving around racing again, another racing DLC. Which I like the cars in the game, but usually the races, they kind of, after the first couple of weeks, uh, people don't really go on those races anymore. So I don't know. I don't like the DLCs as much as, say, like the story where they do like the casino or the like the death race DLC. Um, but yeah, so we got word that there was that racing DLC. I think it was like another stunt DLC or something along those lines. Um, but that never happened at that point. Nothing ever came out besides kind of just word that it was going to happen. And after that, there was speculation of a Cops and Robbers DLC, which sounds legitimately interesting. They, for those of you that don't know, GTA Online was originally Cops and Robbers themed, and that was kind of the whole premise until at some point it was scrapped to be just kind of a free roam, kind of do your thing DLC, or online mode, rather. Um, so there is, kind of, I guess, a precedence that there was at some point Cops and Robbers being worked on. However, with it being brought up again recently, there poses a problem, and that's with the situation going on in the U.S. and, as far as I'm aware, around the world. There's more and more, situations being brought up about what's going on with the police and justice. I'll call it. I'll say. And so you can connect the dots. That wouldn't be a good time for Rockstar to release a police-themed DLC. If I'm saying if that is what is being worked on, or if that is what the DLC was supposed to be. Now, Rockstar hasn't shied away from controversial subjects such as the mass media, the main media that a lot of people go to, even big news, gaming news sites will talk about violence in video games and how it affects the youth and makes them more violent, and in some cases adults. But as people who actually play the games, we realize that that's not exactly true. Um, but the point is that the media spins it out of control, and with the landscape the way things are now, I don't personally blame Rockstar if the DLC is police themed to not be speaking up and or to not release the content, to not release a trailer, a teaser, or whatever, and to be a little bit more to be a little bit more aware of the situation going on right now. However, I don't think they should stay silent on whatever the content is. If it is police themed, I can understand them not releasing the content to not touch the content. Would we get police themed content if that is what was worked on this whole time a month from now? Probably not. It would probably still be on people's minds if, if the situations that's going on in many cities, if that ended. I think, an August release would still be too soon. Um, just because they'll get uh, torn apart by the mass media, the all the big news sites and whatnot. Um, but let's say the DLC was released 6 months from now, let's say in December, where we normally get a winter DLC, and the winter DLC um, was replaced with what we were supposed to get during the summer. That is saying that we're supposed, assuming we're supposed to get 2 DLCs this year, which has kind of been the norm the past few years. But let's just say they only did the 1 DLC. Well, that's kind of disappointing because, you wait a whole year for content and, you get a DLC that was supposed to be released 6 months before. Even, if it was finished working on and then they still waited 6 months to release the content, and, were they working on a DLC at that point? You could also argue that, well, when they finished working on the Cops and Robbers DLC, that they just started on GTA Online 2. So there's, of course this is just massive speculation at that point, but, my point really that I'm trying to drive home is that we don't know what's going on. Whether or not it is police themed or not, Rockstar isn't saying anything, and it's kind of it's frustrating because we are, you know, they're aware that we are, speculating what's going on, and we have no, no information. Nobody's saying anything, and that's kind of what they're used to, as I have said before. But with everything that has gone on the past few months, you would think that they might make an exception. They might be a little bit more open than they normally are, because they have so many people that are stuck at home playing more video games, and now that it's being summer and people can't go anywhere, or as much as they used to be able to go anywhere during summer, there's going to be more people online. And not saying anything about this update. I understand that they wouldn't want to say anything about GTA Online or GTA Online 2 or GTA 6 that I'm sure is in development. But at least something on the update. Maybe give us the theme of the update, or if they can't say that it, or if they don't want to say that it was police themed, they could give us a statement saying, hey, we had the DLC, it was wrapping up, it was almost finished. However, the content of the DLC was not appropriate for the time of release, and therefore we have to start production on a new DLC, or we have to delay that DLC until things change. Something along those lines. Something along the lines that we know what exactly is going on in Rockstar, at least to a degree. Something. But they can't do that. They can't give us an hour of somebody's time to write up a statement, to approve a statement, and to post a statement just saying what's going on. And I know it sounds pretty entitled, like, oh, I have to know what they're doing. But like I said earlier, they're still shoving advertisements into our face. They're still telling us, hey, there's new content on GTA. However, if you do play the game, you know that it's just the same weekly, double XP, double money, same podium vehicle, not a brand new vehicle to the game, and yet I still see those advertisements. It's bizarre, you know. There's the fallout from the GTA 5 announcement. Um, they just haven't been open with us, and so I hope that they can get something together. I think they need to snap out of it. They need to realize, okay, well, it's a little bit different situation than it normally is when you release a DLC update, and that other companies are more open about their updates and what's going on with their developments. So I think they need to, kind of take a step back and realize that things aren't the way that they would necessarily want it to be. So maybe they should, and for the players, they're not, things aren't the way that the players want to be in their real life. So maybe take a second and just say, hey, here's what's going on. And it would be a really positive look for Rockstar to say, hey, they actually do care, instead of just, going about their business when everybody's expecting something, because we all know that they are working on something Grand Theft Auto related, whether it be the next iteration of GTA Online, or if it's content for this game, or for the current version of GTA Online, or Red Dead Online, some sort of update on any update, or on the updates, on the DLCs. And with that being said, I want to talk about the second topic, which is what could they possibly add to Red Dead Online in terms of an actual DLC. So far all they added was the roles update, which was interesting at first. Week 1, week 2, depending on how much you played, you can get a role done within a week or 2 weeks time, and you move on to the next one if you're interested. Some of them, the trader role, I didn't find that interesting, so I never got into it. But within a month, you kind of have everything, and there's really no point in progress besides to, I don't know, get little unlocks, little special items for that trader. Which, if you care that much, that's cool, but they need something that's a little bit more, that has a little bit more longevity. And so I was thinking of, well, what could they add? Well, obviously there's the properties. That's the biggest thing that people, that I'm aware of, want, are properties. A house that you could, eventually decorate, even if it's not super extensive, like GT Online's decoration isn't that extensive, but it's something. Because when you get an update from GTA, it just feels more full. It feels more robust, and does it get tired after, maybe a month? Yeah, but you do get, you can say, like, do the death races, or the, you can do, like, business battles, and you can do, like, the, casino stories over and over again if you wanted to. If you, I don't know, found the particular job interesting, they add more jobs, and you might find one that's really interesting. You might play that over and over again for, a week or something, and that's content that you can reuse. And right now, Red Dead doesn't really have content that you can replay. You can't really replay anything. I mean, now, to be fair, they did add the Battle Pass. However, I don't think quality-wise the Battle Pass is up to the same standard as a normal GTA update. And why should I expect the same quality? Well, it's the same development studio. It's it's their same name on an equal budget title. So I would expect, if they're going to do online and they're going to promote online whatsoever for Red Dead, that it should be in equal quality to Red Dead or to GTA Online. That being said, another idea is and this is of course really far-fetched, but I was when I was rambling earlier on the previous recorded video, what they could do is if they are working on a police update on Grand Theft Auto Online, they could do a sheriff and bandit update on Red Dead at the same time. Release them at the same time. They've had more than enough time to work on content on an update for Red Dead. The game, the online update, the online game mode has been out for what, a year and a half, and the only real addition they've seen is trader roles, and it's only 4 roles at that. You know, you don't have I mean, you have businesses, but it's not like an extensive business. You know, like we're in Grand Theft Auto, they have, you know, your CEO business, and you can get different like products and store them in your warehouse. You can get cars, you can modify them and sell them, and the missions are different. Whereas in Red Dead, say the moonshining job, which I have the most experience with, you just, you know, get the materials throughout the land, and then you wait for the production for it to be um, made, and then you sell it, and it's the same old, same old. You don't have any kind of uh, differences in the jobs for moonshining, and as well as the collecting job, where you just go around the map and collect things. It's not very interesting. It's very mind-numbing. That one in particular. So yeah, so I think if they did a Sheriff Bandit kind of update where you can choose a faction and roll with that faction, or you don't have to partake in it if you don't want to, or it could be session based, so you spawn in and then every session you choose what faction you want to go to, and then, you know, do jobs around that faction. You know, that would be interesting, especially alongside a Cops and Robbers DLC. Of course, that's assuming that's what they've worked on recently. So yeah, I think. Lastly, I do want to touch on the battle pass. I do think that it is a good thing. It is interesting. You know, it does add I guess, little trinkets, little things that you can wear and whatnot. But it's not like a full, robust DLC. But I do want to give them credit for doing that. As far as I know, it's been, what, 6-ish months since we had the Battle Pass Season 2. Again, there is the illness going on, and so that could delay things, but and it kind of circles back to them not even clarifying that that's what's going on. We can only assume they are working on a Season 3 Battle Pass, and that'll be out sometime relatively soon. And that's what's sad. That's what it all comes down to, is communication with Rockstar. So I'm going to end it there, but I would like to know, do you think my criticisms of how Rockstar is handling GTA Online and Red Dead Online is fair? Are my criticisms fair? Am I being too harsh on them, especially during this, um, you know, both, you know, situations that's going on in the world? You know, leave a comment, let me know. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you for taking the time to view this video. Have a nice day.